So, debt is a fundamental part of the money game. And I've covered one reason why, because without debt, there's no money in the money game, and the whole thing grinds to a halt. So, I also believe it's not a personal failure to have toxic debt if you are unaware that you're unaware that toxic debt is bad, or you're unaware that you don't know what toxic debt is. The whole money game system is designed around debt. If the money game system wanted you to stay out of toxic debt, then it would have taught you very simple but profound lessons at school. I didn't have any when I was at school. That might have changed today, but it certainly wasn't there when I was at school. There's also an important factor regarding interest. Now, the money that you borrow, i.e., we just talked about the Bank of England saying when a loan is provided at the point the loan is provided after the signature, after the agreement's been signed, that money is created. That money is created with little effort and very small cost to the lender. However, the interest is then added to that, and you are charged interest. And that interest largely comes out of people's own pockets that they have to exchange. Remember when we did the chief strategies? How you earn money, whether it's a job, whether it's a self-employment, whether it's a business, or whether it's an investor. Largely speaking, in the first two, the job and the self-employed, it's your time, your expertise, and your experience and your effort that you have to exchange for that money. So that interest you are charged, you have to earn the money through your time and your experience and your effort. So there's a real cost to you, but not necessarily a real cost to the bank because there's little or no cost to set that whole process up. Now, understanding the money creation process. Okay. When you know that the principle of money you are repaying has most likely come into existence out of nothing, just bear with me a second here, and the interest is just an additional charge for profit generation, it should give you a little bit more confidence when negotiating with the creditors. So if you have, we'll talk about this another time, but dealing with creditors, it's not an easy job, okay? Dealing with people, if you're in a stricken position financially and your debts have become so toxic that you haven't paid them, you've missed the principal payments, you've missed the interest payments, that causes a problem. So there are ways that one can deal with that, but um, the reason why I'm sharing about the money creation process is remember in the first part, the money game part one, an introduction. Think about it, it's just a game. Okay? The whole money game is a game. So think about the toxic debt as a game, but you need to know the rules around the toxic debt. We need to know how you can position yourself to get that paid back. We're not trying to wheedle out of the responsibilities. We want to empower you to then pay it back. Wide shoulders, confidence, boom, pay it back. So we'll cover that at a later date. And then another factor which I think is important, most governments and most banks, I believe, do not act in our best interests or our business's best interests. And there's a few reasons why I believe that. Um, so secondly, I believe that actually believing this, so if we believe that governments are there and acting in our best interests, if we believe that banks are acting in our best interests, that can actually disempower us and position us in a wrong position, in a wrong hierarchical relationship with these institutions. Because they're not going to save you and they're not going to get you out of the situation that you're in. Because they want the money. So the banks want the money from you. They're not just going to go, oh, we'll just let you off. It's very, very, very rare that people are let off from a debt they owe. And there are very unfortunate, quite strong, debilitating uh, enforcement processes, which I would not want anyone to go down. Having been there and investigated that thoroughly, it's better to stay away from that, to manage money so you never touch that issue, which is why I set the Money Fitness community up. Well, not the reason, but it's a reason. So people are aware They're prepared, they're planned, like we spoke of in the other session regarding the economic downturns. Pre-planning, contingency, planning, preparation, position. It's very similar with debt as well. So it's mindset, goals, planning, preparation, management. Okay.